The college football experience week 10 pregame show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN. You get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by the MMA Gambling Podcast. They just launched their YouTube channel. Subscribe, all right? To celebrate, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Brand new, never been worn, not out of my laundry. So head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie for all the details. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the college football experience week 10 pregame show. Look, this is one of those weeks you wake up, the birds are fucking chirping. You're alive. You're just happy to be alive. You're allowed to be alive. I was about to say, haven't had my morning coffee, but damn it, I feel good about life right now. All right. The slate is incredible. It's incredible throughout the whole slate. Gems. Today is a day to appreciate the great sport of college football. And if you're wondering who this fucking idiot is yelling at you, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, tailless pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the way I feel. Just like David Thompson. Go ahead and YouTube that. David Thompson, Charlotte City Council. Highly entertaining stuff. We got Bedlam for the final time, perhaps. We got a battle at the Coliseum. We got the Dakota Marker game going on. I mean, A&M Ole Miss, animosity between both coaches. Notre Dame Clemson have been giving us some good games over the years. Jeff Brown, can he continue the magic at the Shack? Is Missouri for real? God damn it, I love this sport. All right, JMU, Georgia State. Can JMU stay unbeaten? Oh, we're going to talk about all this shit. Kansas, Iowa State. I don't know. I can go on and on and on. All right, let's get into it, folks. Shout out to the chat as they are rocking along. You can watch this youtube.com/the college experience. And yeah, let's go. People already saying last night's, the Friday night slate was fantastic. Hopefully you tailed me on BC. I mean, on the over ticket too, let alone the actual game, because that somehow hit. I don't know that they deserved for it to hit, but it hit. Did lose on Colorado State +7, a nice 4th and goal stop from the Wyoming Cowboys. And then I actually did lose on the FCS game too. Well, if you got the line when we said you got the line, you're fine. The closing line, you would have lost. Let's go. Let's get into this shit. All right. Starting in 56 minutes. We got Kansas State in Texas. Slide was 4. I'm seeing it currently at 3.5.
WILD Cats. WILD Wildcats.
I understand that Texas has won 6 straight, but 5 of those 6 has been by a score or less. I think a few overtime games there. No Quinn Ewers. Malik Murphy. He's going to have to prove it to me. Give me the Kansas State Wildcats plus 3.5 points in Austin, Texas. I've been to this game before. K-State, Texas in Darrell Royal Stadium. Make sure you go to Vince Young Steakhouse afterwards. Have one of those Vince Young Cheesecake Factory nights where you just spend 40 grand. No, I really think you got to take K-State. I think the fact that Texas looked a little iffy in the passing attack against BYU, and Kansas State's a lot better than BYU. So I think Kansas State, top 25 rush defense, is going to be able to bottle up Jonathan Brooks for the most part. He might get off on a few of those, but I mean, I think they'll do a solid job on him. Malik Murphy is, if Texas is going to win and cover this line, he's going to have a decent day passing and kind of play mistake-free football. I don't know that he can. Give me Kansas State. Kansas State seems to be rolling. And I do think it's kind of a rock fight game because I think the strengths of Kansas State can get neutralized by Texas's. K-State can't, they're not known for like a super pass happy team. They don't have elite wide receivers. So I really don't think they can make Texas really pay the way a lot of other teams can. However, I'll take the more inexperienced quarterback to lose the chances of him losing the game more than Will Howard or even Avery Johnson, who is a freshman, but he's been a lot more experienced than Malik Murphy thus far. So I'm taking K-State. That game's awesome. The 9 a.m. slate, folks. My friend CJ Sullivan, who co-host of the Bombs Down Under episodes, he is buying into Rutgers plus 17.5 or 18, maybe even 18.5. I am not. I will lock up the Ohio State Buckeyes. I just don't think Rutgers' offense is going to be able to have success against Ohio State. I actually really believe the Rutgers defense is actually legit. However, come on, Ohio State's defense, Maserati Marv, to quote Gus Johnson, they're going to break through at some point. Might take 3 quarters, but when they do, Rutgers is going to be forced to pass the ball, and that's not their game. I am calling for a defensive touchdown by the Ohio State Buckeyes in this game. Give me the Buckeyes, and it seems to be a trendy play. Is Rutgers with the points or Rutgers on the upset outright, which is just fucking insane to me. But hey, been wrong before. They have, and I have. So yeah, I don't know. CJ Rules Sullivan. Shout out to Nagels Bagels. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, wifey is pregnant. I made sure that I'm gonna have the child before March Madness. So God willing, that will happen. But let's talk about some more of these 9 a.m. games. And feel free to holler at any game in the chat. I'll try to answer them. I know there's one already out there for 9 a.m. Jacksonville State covers the first half. Shout out to El Jefe Crypto Messiah One Gurunrich. Great fucking name. I like it. What is Jacksonville State I mean, what does South Carolina have to play for? Jacksonville State's got everything to play for. You weren't recruited by an SEC school. Rich Rodriguez, fucking legendary coach. If you're South Carolina, you're 2-6. You got to win out to make a bowl. And even with that, I mean, I guess it's possible because they're all home games, but I just don't think they're going to be really getting up for this one. So I do like the Jacksonville State angle. I actually like it for the whole game too. Not only the first half. Let's go. Let's take it. Other 9 a.m. games. I believe in tragic magic. I believe sometimes tragic magic does cross sports. When you have as big as an icon as Bobby Knight, rest in peace. I think the folks in Bloomington will probably do some type of special thing for him, despite their shabby journalism by their local by their student newspaper, who basically was just shitting on Bobby Knight. But hey, you know, what are you gonna do? I think the people of Indiana get up, and maybe the players don't get up. Maybe there's an angle there. I know Nick was saying they don't give a shit about Bobby Knight. Fair, probably true. But I think the crowd could, and I would bank on the crowd doing that. I also happen to think Wisconsin's not very good. I've faded them a lot of times this year. They did burn me in that Illinois game, but I was on Washington State money line. I was on Iowa money line, and I don't believe they're very good. So let's ride the Hoosiers. What are we getting them at right now? Plus 280. Tragic magic in Bloomington. Let's go. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Saying nice things. Saying nice things, you know. Not used to that. Normally it's you fucking idiot. Why would you take the Colorado Buffaloes? Oh man. I gotta be honest. My favorite DMs are the ones saying you're a fucking idiot. Please keep those coming too. All right. Arkansas, Florida in the swamp. This line has dropped substantially. I know Rocket Sanders is questionable, and I don't really understand why the line has dropped that much. According to my reports, which are just me scouring the internet, why did it drop that much? Makes me paranoid. I have Graham Mertz in DFS, which is a silly suicidal play, perhaps, but I'm gonna fucking die hard with it. Dennis in the chat is saying, "Can you talk about the fucking Long Island Sharks?" Yeah, I can. The fucking Long Island Sharks are catching 9.5 points against St. Francis. The fuck you kidding here? The fucking Sharks, they never fucking disappoint. Take the 9.5 points with the fucking Sharks. Take it on the money line, FCS wise. All right. Next up, we got, Nebraska, Michigan State. You want to talk about a game that really sucks ass, but it should be fun. I know Matt Rule gave a speech about fighting. Your mother fought for you. Your bookie fought for you. Everybody's fought for you in life. However, the fucking Sharks. No, I'm joking. No, I think I'm gonna ride Nebraska. I just can't take Michigan State right now. I cannot take Michigan State right now. I'm gonna lay the 3 with Nebraska. I don't think it's a horrible play, but I don't think Nebraska is as good as their record, if that makes sense. But I do enjoy Matt Rule bringing back the fullback to Lincoln, Nebraska. And I do enjoy the fact that they've completed like 11 passes over the past 3 games or something. That is the football. That's the Nebraska that I grew up on. Now it was a little more dominant, a little more athletic, but you're on the right track, And yes, still alive, still alive to make the Big Ten championship game. Unbelievable. Boner Champ. Shout out to Boner. I love the chat. Our chat, whether it's Coke Booger, whether it's Boner Champ, some of the best names. There's Chinese Spy Balloon in there too. An Ivy League / Patriot League parlay. I like this, and let's jump into it real quick. Let me see. Well, the Patriot League parlay, I do think. So right now, let me just double check because there's these fucking lines move, man. Let's go. Normally I take anything over a touchdown in the Ivy unless it's Columbia. I cannot do that with the Columbia Lions as they take on Harvard. But I can tell you right now, I do like the vacuum company of Wagner plus 13.5 against Duquesne. I know that's NEC action, but, and by the way, the fucking Sharks are getting plus 280 on the money line. What are you doing, folks? Cole Doyle Rules is the quarterback of St. Francis. I mean, he's good, but I think the fucking Sharks are a bit live. Holy Cross, don't touch that game. I mean, I think they could blow out Lehigh, but no. I think your best angle is Brown plus 7 in the Ivy. I think they can be in that game. Yale on the road. Both teams are solid. 7's a lot. And then I actually think, okay, you could do Brown. Hear me out here. Colgate is getting 16.5 at Lafayette. I know Lafayette's been an unbelievable fucking story this year. If you follow Patriot League football, they've been a really fucking good story. They knocked off Holy Cross. I just think it's too many fucking points. 16.5. Give me the Colgate Raiders on the road. Parlay that. Also, Jamison, Wang, and Cornell are getting 10.5 at Franklin Field. Here's the parlay: Brown, Cornell, Colgate. Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right, next up. Shout out to Jesse Chambers. Says, I come for the lock, stay for Colby, saying chat names like Boner Champ and Coke Booger with a serious face. Rice money line. Shout out to Shane Kenyon, long time fan there, or listener, I should say. I do like Rice money line. I bet the 12.5 to cover my ass, but I did take some of that. I think it was plus 370 if memory serves me correct. I did take a shot on it because I think SMU is counterfeit. I think Rice can beat him. What are you doing, folks? Get in, lock that thing up, sprinkle that money line with the Rice Owls. Who? I need them to win one more game to hit the over on 4.5 wins. Next up, and like I said, I'm kind of going chronologically, but if you just throw your shit out there in the chat, that works too. I don't think Alabama's going to win today. I locked up LSU plus 3. I think it's a bad matchup. You know, football is really about matchups, and it's about how the matchups can play out on the field. And I think Jaden Daniels, being by far the best quarterback on the field, it is going to put Alabama in a spot to have to play from behind. And when you play from behind, you get more predictable on what you're going to be running. And I think that will be the difference. Also, LSU's defensive line is actually pretty good. Alabama's offensive line's been pretty shitty this year. And I also think Saban's done a great job since the Texas game of getting themselves out of predictable situations. But they haven't played any good quarterbacks, really. Jackson Dart is probably the best quarterback they played. And Ole Miss kind of runs that gimmick as offense, which I don't really believe you can win on the highest levels with. I think LSU will win this game. I feel pretty good about it. I know the only thing that can really I think make me lose this obviously is like Tuscaloosa. They don't lose a lot in Tuscaloosa. That crowd's awesome. Stadium's awesome. They are college football, but I think LSU is the better team, and I think they can really attack the weaknesses of Alabama, where I think Alabama might have a hard time attacking the weaknesses of LSU, which is their pass defense. So that's my logic there. I locked up. I bet LSU money line. I bet LSU +3, and yeah, let's go. Arkansas, Florida. I touched on. I'm kind of fascinated by watching the game, but at 6, I liked Arkansas. At 3, I think I like Florida. I'm not actually betting that game. UConn, Tennessee. Who's not excited? Give me UConn on the 35. Next, I am locking up the Navy midshipmen -7 against a terrible ass Temple rush defense. I know Navy normally plays close games. I know it's a little reckless, but I think Navy can put it on them. And I actually think Temple might be a little bit of a mess. Remember the last time they stepped on a field, they lost 55-0. So I worry about them internally. So shout out to Troy Chewing, host of the Big 12 Experience. He says, I'm on the road to see Mac and Rush at Rush's Soakers versus Shiners wedding. Yes. Shout out to Rush Bishop getting married today. You know, I know a lot of people will come at you saying fall wedding, terrible idea. I'll be one of them in a way, because I did get married in the fall, but I got married on a Sunday. That's the difference. You got to stay sharp on Saturday, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean? He probably had a few whiskeys. Next thing you know, he's talking himself into getting married on a college football Saturday. And he's a Mormon from West Virginia, or the University of West Virginia. And they happen to be playing each other on this day. Tell me you're getting married at fucking halftime. Tell me you're getting married at halftime. Yeah, I like Navy -7 against Temple. And by the way, to touch on that game, that line has shot up. The BYU, where the hell is it? What is that line currently at? 12.5. They've only played once ever before, but Keaton Slovis is out for BYU. Same with I think LJ Martin, their star running back, questionable. That's enough for me. I actually think we should lock up Dub V. I think they're going to beat the shit out of BYU today. Let's go. Cracky, the cocaine bear in the chat. Hell of a good guy. I'm with you. Bedlam, Oklahoma State moneyline play. It's happening. They're the better football team. I don't buy into this Oklahoma bullshit that they've been trying to force down our fucking throat all year. That soft ass schedule. Oklahoma State beats them. Bedlam. That stadium's awesome. It'll be rocking. And someone in the chat also said Navy Army parlay. Yes. Army in Denver, Colorado, not Colorado Springs. Getting, what was it? What's it currently at? 18. I like the under as well. Give me the 18 in the Black Knights. I think they can win this game. I think they can win this game. Shout out to Jefferson E. White. How many people will be sweating UMass Merrimack today? I'm sweating it for several reasons. I took the 17 and the Merrimack Warriors. NEC football till I die, motherfuckers. No, I think take the 17 points. That's a big spread. Give up 17. But the bigger thing for me is I have the over on UMass's win total at 2.5. So if you happen to see a God's eye photo with Merrimack UMass on the big screen, while LSU Alabama is on the smaller screen, and you question what we're doing, and you question what we're doing at SGPN, you understand. I need you to understand that I might have like 5 or 6 C notes on UMass over 2.5 wins. So bear with us. Yes, under in that Commander-in-Chief trophy, quote the great George W.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Next up, and yes, I do think I might be the only human. I tried to convince other people too. It's like selling a fucking timeshare. No one wants to hear you out. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take my winnings. I'm gonna buy a fucking timeshare. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. Nagels Bagels in the chat saying, "Scroll back, Colby." Scroll back. Scrolling is hard. Where the hell are you? I need a 5-leg underdog round robin. Oh. With Jacksonville State, Indiana, Oklahoma State, NC State, and East Carolina. We believe. Now, here's the thing. I don't like betting East Carolina in a parlay with NC State. We hate NC State. And I feel like that's just, you're asking for bad things. You're asking for a car crash on the way home. You're asking for just terrible things. You know what I mean? Your house burning down, whatever. So the parlay that I feel like you should be doing here, Oklahoma State. Yes. Round robin here. I'm sorry. Round robin parlay. Oklahoma State. Yes, they're in. I would argue Clemson. I know no Will Shipley. Okay. I don't really care. Clemson's beating Notre Dame today. That's number 2. Number 3 is, let's go. I mean, I see the point in NC State. Why is that line jumped up too? How about number 3, the Rice Owls? All right. 3, the Rice Owls. 4. Let's go with who is another dog that could hit? I will say, I mean, it's not that crazy to think Army could do that. But since Air Force seems to be making a fool out of me every week, at number 4, let's take the Indiana Hoosiers. At number 5, well, you came to the right place. And look, if you think my ECU plays crazy because I went to ECU, yes, Jason, replace it with Kansas State if you'd like. But either way, this thing is fucking hitting. Let's go. Let's go. The chat is asking about James Madison, Georgia State. A lot of people asking about this. I think JMU is going to win this game. The question is, can they cover the 5, 6? What is that line? Currently at 6. At the end of the day, I went JMU. I don't feel amazing about this play because I feel like Georgia State could cover this. JMU ends up like letting teams back into the game. I'm going to take JMU though. I think their defensive line is a fucking force, and I think they can force Granger into some questionable throws. I'm not personally betting that game. People asking about Colorado. No, Colorado. What the fuck are they doing? Pat Shermer's calling plays. You got Sean Lewis. I'm worried about my Buffs because I don't know. Yeah, Sean Lewis has been tough on offense the past couple of weeks. They also have me blocking for them. What are we doing here? Sean Lewis is a fucking great offensive coordinator. In my opinion, Prime's in the wrong here. Nagel says, "Fuck Rice. I got SMU to win the conference." They still could win. Still could win the conference. They don't even have a loss yet in conference, right? You want to bet that's going to hit? Nevada's going to win today. Nevada is going to win in that beautiful, filthy little city called Reno, and they're going to win their third game in a row. I like laying the 3.5 points with the Nevada Wolfpack as they're going to win 23-13. Let's fucking go. Let's go. I also like Appalachian State. I know they've been kind of a mess all year. Both teams are 4-4. Marshall can't throw the forward pass. Marshall won this last year. I think App State gets even. I think App State, I like laying the 3 at home with App State. That game should be absolutely bonkers to watch too. Another bet that I'm all in on. I am betting the shit out of Utah State -2 at the snapper. I think San Diego State sucks ass. I think San Diego State is going to fire Brady Hoke at the end of the year. I worry about the locker room. Utah State gets their 4th win of the year. Lay the 2 at the snapper. Other games, we got the Dakota Marker game going on. Do I really lay 11.5 points with South Dakota State in a rivalry game that's over 120 years old? Yes, you do, because North Dakota State looks like complete ass. That game's awesome though. You should watch it. Miami, NC State. I do lean NC State +6. I'm a bit like, I know what Donald Chaney is questionable, right? I don't understand why the line. I don't understand what happened here, but give me NC State at Carter Finley. Are you kidding me? Mario Cristobal in a hostile environment. I know it's disgusting to bet on NC State at any time in life, but I think we got to. So, people asking about New Mexico State. I did take New Mexico State -3, but I don't love that play because I think Rick Stockstill is a underrated coach, especially as a dog. So I did not bet that game, but I do lean New Mexico State. I am locking up this game. If you followed us for the past few years, you should know that I'm a gigantic Lance Leipold fan, and I've made a shit ton of money on Kansas, including this year, 3 straight years on the over. And I've had a lot of money every single time. And also I hit on the money line when they beat Texas 2 years ago. So why am I fading them here? Because I know Kansas football. They just threw a fucking goalpost into a fucking lake. Matt Campbell's defense, I think, can bottle up Kansas. I am laying the 2.5 or 3 with Iowa State. They are beating Kansas today in Ames. I hate to say it. Even if I'm wrong, I'll be happy wrong. But I think I'm right. Do I think Oklahoma stacks the box on Oklahoma State? Do you think Ollie Gordon will have more than I think Ollie Gordon will have more than 100 yards. Now, obviously they're going to try to stack the box, I think, but I think Alan Bowman, who's been in college for 50 fucking years, can do enough in the passing game that they'll have to keep doing both, in my opinion. Like they'll have to they'll have to fear the pass and the run. Do I think he'll have 200 yards? No, not at all. I think he'll have like 120 yards, some shit like that. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Catfish Billy. Says, you're a great handicapper. Best college show on. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Tell a friend. Let's go. And we got some people. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to lock up this. I know Jake Paquin. Shout out to Jake. Jake does great work and he's talking props. I'll try to answer them, but first, Let's bet the shit out of Penn State -8 in College Park, Maryland. They normally beat the absolute piss out of them. One year I was foolish enough to take Maryland. They lost by 59. My worst defeat in college football betting ever on this show. Blind play. Lay the 8. Penn State. Let's go. But Jake is saying Singleton to put up 122 yards, two touchdowns. What's the prop right now? Because I played him in DFS. Singleton plus 100 plus rushing yards. Jordan Travis 300 plus passing yards. That one could get a little tricky. Just Pitt's always fucking weird. And this is what he's saying there. I do like the Singleton one. That's my favorite out of the three. See, A&M's run defense is actually not bad. It's A&M's pass defense. I still think Judkins can get over 100, but he hasn't been as dominant as I thought he'd be this year. Travis over 300 passing yards wouldn't shock me. Pitt, I mean, you had the fucking Pitt players calling out Narduzzi. It was, I don't know what the fuck is happening with the Pitt Panthers. I was dumb enough to take an over on them this year at 6.5 or whatever. I'm eating shit on that. Shout out to DDB. Their FCS lines are always hard, man. They bounce around, and in my opinion, I hope that's something that we continue to get a better read on. I feel like just from me doing this show, because I would do FCS on this show. Besides, we started the FCS college show this year, but we were doing it last year on this feed and the year prior. And they have gotten better about releasing the lines. They still could get a lot better, in my opinion, and I hope they do in the coming future. But let's continue on this journey, guys. We got a lot of shit that I want to talk about. Georgia, Mizzou, 15, 16. What are you getting that number at? Because guess what? I think we lay it. I don't think it's a good matchup for Mizzou. Obviously, between the hedges is not a good matchup for anybody in college football. And then Brady Cook, he's been iffy. Do you really have faith on him to go on the road and win? I don't. So I am on Georgia minus the points. And Daquan brings up a fucking great point. Shout out to Daquan. I love this idea here. So Michigan's going to be in fuck you mode against Purdue. I've already bet the hell out of that game by itself. But I think Daquan just convinced me right now to get on over and parlay, because I already bet Ohio State. I've already bet Penn State. Why are we not parlaying a blue blood parlay in the Big Ten of Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State all to cover? I love this angle. Let's do this shit. Yes. Parlay entered. Let's go. Next up. Yeah, Coke Booger, by the way. Shout out to Coke Booger. Says Michigan minus 20. Yes. Hammer that. Michael Kim says A&M or Ole Miss. I lean Ole Miss. It's at the Grove. I think Lane Kiffin hates Jimbo. I like that rivalry. A lot of people think that it's a look ahead spot because Georgia's on deck. I don't think Lane Kiffin will look ahead to it because I think that he truly hates Jimbo Fisher. And I think A&M's pass defense is bad. I also think he's bothered that DJ Durkin, the Texas A&M DC, left Ole Miss to go to A&M. And I like Ole Miss minus 3. I do think Ole Miss is a little bit counterfeit. So there's that. Like A&M could just beat them and be the better team. But I think at the Grove there, Vaught Hemingway, I will lay the 3 with Ole Miss. Let's go. Some other games that I like. And by the way, I saw someone in the chat mention Old Dominion, Coastal Carolina, ODU -1. I laid the one with ODU. I think that offense is moving. Oh man, friend of the program, Rob Donaldson is tailgating around Wrigley right now. That's dedication. You're fucking seeing that Ernie Banks statue. Tell Ernie I said hello. Might have had a few drunken conversations outside of Wrigley with Ernie Banks. But Rob Donaldson, he's got the AirPods in. He's listening to the College Football Experience morning show. And that game, in my opinion, look, the whole world hates Iowa football for some reason, just because they struggle on offense, but they're like the fucking greatest defense. It's like watching the 2000 Ravens. You know what I mean? The 85 Bears. Like there's beauty in that if you know football. To me, a lot of people talk shit, and they don't. Then they always push the narrative that Iowa offense sucks, but they never talk about how beautiful it is to watch them play defense and special teams. Fuck, for like 10 years, you want to watch awesome special teams? Watch fucking Iowa. I love this game. I love it's at Wrigley to honor the history of college football, right? And football in general. College football it created the sport of football. Wrigley has hosted so many games over that time period. It used to be the home for the Chicago Bears. They won 4 championships at Wrigley. So you have all this great history there. And I love college football playing. I think they should play one game there every year. I think the NFL should too, but the NFL is a bunch of fucking corporate fucking losers. So, yeah, I love this game. Now they're playing Northwestern. Northwestern could still win the Big Ten West. I think you gotta ride the 5.5 because I think this is going to be a 10-7 type game, maybe a 13-10. Either way, I like the under at 30. Was it 31? I think you take the under. I think Northwestern is a live dog. Now I still think I was going to win this, but wouldn't shock me. Anytime you can tell me there's going to be a field goal game, especially, Wrigley Field. Why couldn't Northwestern? But take the 5.5. I think I was going to win this one like 13-10, maybe 14-10, some shit like that. I can't wait for it. Rob Donaldson said he'd appreciate a couple more first downs from the defense, turnover wise. I agree. Couple more turnovers than normal for Iowa. So start off with some first downs. I get it. I love watching that game. I know you guys think I'm doing shtick, but I genuinely love that game, and I will be watching every fucking snap of that game. Virginia Tech, Louisville. This line, actually funny on DK. I saw it at 10 earlier. I originally was going to take the Hokies. NC Nick swayed me, and I still think NC Nick was correct. I think you lay it with Louisville. Braum at home. He's a Louisville legend. Even though the Hokies been playing better, I think we lay it with Louisville. I think that's the angle. They seem to be just beating the shit out of everyone in at the shack. I think East Carolina. I know you're gonna. I think East Carolina could get Tulane a real game. I know that sounds insane. They haven't beaten an FBS. Tulane keeps playing with fire. Mike Houston has faced off against Willie Fritz like a fucking 100 times. He knows where's my quote?
Because I understand how the bastard thinks. I taught him. Now I own one.
Yeah, after last year, I believe that. Jake Paquin also in the chat. I like this one. Jalen Polk, star receiver for Washington, and Marshawn Lloyd, star running back for USC out of Washington D.C. I like that angle. I think they're both going to score touchdowns today. I like it. East Carolina. Back to what I was saying. I think that I actually expect this to be a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. And I think the ECU team, I'll say this. I've talked a ton of shit about Mike Houston, and I think rightfully so. One thing I will say though, for a team that has yet to beat an FBS team, I was impressed with the fight last week. They're not quitting on them. So let's go. UCF's laying 3.5 at Cincinnati. Lay it. Auburn, Vandy talk in the chat. I took Vandy in the 12.5. I just think it's a little too much. Auburn can't pass the ball. I feel like Vandy's gotten better kind of throughout the season. Clark Lee, I think, is a decent head coach. I think they can bottle up Auburn enough to cover 12.5. Wouldn't even shock me if this was like an outright win, but I think Auburn probably wins like 30-24 or something like that. Give me the points and the doors. UNLV. This is more of me trying to manifest a UNLV loss. I have a shit ton of money on UNLV under 6.5 wins. Somehow they have 6 wins. Fuck you, Vanderbilt, by the way. They go to Albuquerque to take on New Mexico. They're laying 12.5. This line has skyrocketed. Danny Gonzalez, head coach of New Mexico, former Rocky Long guy. I got to hang out with Danny Gonzalez over the summer. I like Danny Gonzalez. He says he fights dirty. I need him to fight dirty today and take down the UNLV running Rebels. So my logic, maybe I'm an idiot because I'm basically putting the amount of money I put down, which was $400 on UNLV to go under 6.5 wins. I'm putting $400 on New Mexico plus 12.5, hoping that I can break even and perhaps still or right off into the sunset with a New Mexico dub there. Correct you, the cocaine bear talking. How about Joe Hackney? Shout out to Joe Hackney. Air Force win by 1-13 at a plus 250. I'll be writing that today. Aim high, miss small. Let's go Falcons. I do think that's probably likely. I think that's actually incredibly likely. That's a very good bet, Joe. Shout out to Grover. He knows the Casey Affleck story. Can we take Fresno at home against Boise? Yes, we can. I think Fresno is the better team this year. Lay the 2.5. I mean, it's still Boise. Boise's capable of beating, but they don't look like the same. But I ate shit last week with Boise. I thought Wyoming was going to be able to get them. No, Boise after that bye week really looked like they put something together. But I do still think Fresno gets them. I think Fresno in the Valley is a very hard team to beat. Some people are talking USC, Washington in the chat. I went Washington -3. I don't love it. I'm not betting that, but I'll tell you what I am betting. And it's going to sound pretty wild. I'm taking the over on 77.5. I think both teams are scoring in the 40s, if not the 50s. So I'm riding the over on 77.5. Some other plays I like. I like the California Golden Bears plus 26 at Oregon. Justin Wilcox played defensive back at Oregon back in the day. I think he gets his teams up for these games. I feel like Cal always plays Oregon better than you think. And so I like the 26 in the Golden Bears there. Charlotte Tulsa's once again, this is a horrible game that'll be on the main screen at one point because I have the over 2.5 wins on Charlotte. I also have the under 4.5 wins on Tulsa. Now Tulsa can still win this game and lose the bet, but damn it, I need Charlotte to win this one. So, gonna be sweating Charlotte at Tulsa. I hope you dig that as a fan of college football. Shout out to Zach Mitchell, who says he's brand new to the show. Love the content. How about a hold your nose Iowa -5? You know, this is an interesting angle. I kind of dig the angle because you're thinking no one is going to lay 5 points. You know what, man? I think you might be on something. Even though I was saying take the points, just I was so fucking beat up though, man. They really like their whole like any talented offensive players they have are injured. Let's do it. I think we do it. I think you got something going here. I like it. I like it. Maybe they win 10-3. I can see it. Colby, why do you think Clemson will move the ball against Notre Dame? Shout out to Pete, by the way. Pete's a good guy. Notre Dame did good against Ohio State run game and USC passing game. The two things that two games you mentioned though, those were in South Bend, Indiana. Clemson is playing at Clemson, South Carolina. Look, I thought Clemson was better than Florida State the game that they played. The score didn't indicate it, but if you watch the game, I think Clemson was the better team. I think they will force Notre Dame into turnovers. I also think Dabo's comments, shit like that, all going to have them laser focus. I know Will Shipley's out, but I still think Clemson. I'm not expecting them to have like some gigantic offensive output, but I do think they'll be the team that walks away with a win. So that's the logic there. 49-0 Iowa Northwestern. Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious? I'll tell you this, Cracky the Cocaine Bear. I would at least not slide. All right. And I would at least, go for the first down. I'm not going to be Dylan Gabriel here. What do we got next? I mean, Joe Hackney bringing up some great points. I would have win by 1 to 13 points is plus 160, folks. It's a pretty good fucking bet. Other games out there. I kind of like ULM catching 3 in Hattiesburg. Have you guys watched this ULM team? I know they're 2-6. They suck ass, but I think this team's better than their record. They've been going with the youth movement, and these guys will. Unfortunately, they're probably all going to transfer next year. But I kind of have been impressed by ULM. And I also hate Southern Miss because I lost a bunch of money on them this year. So I will take the 3 points in Hattiesburg at the Rock. Welcome to the Rock. You gotta love this one. Diego pissing Pavia. Stockstill's underrated, but hard to fade pissing Pavia. I'll never do that again in my life. Some other games going on. Georgia Southern, Texas State. It seems like they're just baiting you, right? I went Texas State just because I feel like everyone's on Southern, right? I don't know. That line confused me. Love hammering Michigan against Purdue. I like Arizona at home to beat UCLA tonight. I think Arizona is going to beat them. I know UCLA's defense has been very good. But Arizona's got something going right now. Got momentum. Noah Fafita is a baller, and he talked there once again. To me, real quarterback. 2023, in my opinion, we have like this pandemic of little bitch quarterbacks that, in my opinion, aren't really quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They'll always slide. They're always trying to get it. Have you guys seen this Fafita kid play? He's nasty, and he's gonna go for it. That's what I love about him. So there's that. Give me the Wildcats at home. I got a song for that one. W-I-L-D Cats. W-I-L-D Wildcats. All offseason, I said Florida State's going to lose to Pittsburgh at Heinz Stadium or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. I thought it would be cold. I look at the weather today. First off, Pitt's been a disaster. Pitt did beat Louisville. Pitt has a history of fucking up Florida State. But damn it, it's 63 degrees today. What the hell's going on here? I'm still taking Pitt in the 21.5, but I have zero faith in this play these days. So Jake says he needs a chalky touchdown to parlay with Corum and Ali anytime. What website are you using, Jake? What service are you using? Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point, Joe. I just don't think they're that good, but Pitt's fucking weird. Because I feel like Pitt has a better roster than their record. They should be better than 2-6 from a roster standpoint, but it just doesn't seem right. It kind of feels like USC, where it's like something just doesn't feel right about what's going on in that locker room. Houston Baylor, the rebirth of this Big 12 matchup. By the way, Jake's using FanDuel. What other props? Toss out a few other ones, and I'll try to give you my insight there. Houston Baylor, though, I actually think wrong team favorite. I think Houston's better than Baylor right now. Donovan Smith, they've got some things going. I know they just lost 41-0. It's hard for me to really say that, but I believe Houston is better than Baylor right now. I think Houston wins in Waco. Bedlam, I touched on that. I like Oklahoma State. I'm fascinated by that game. I must watch that game. That game should happen every year. Fuck you, TV execs. All right. I think Oklahoma State's the better team. I really believe that they're the better team this year. Illinois, Minnesota. Minnesota's still alive to make the Big Ten championship. I guess technically, theoretically, maybe Illinois is too. I don't even know. But I took the Gophers to win 24-21 against the Illini. Lay the 2 points or 2.5. Georgia Tech, Virginia is a game that you shouldn't bet. I actually switched my pick to Virginia -1 this morning. I took Georgia Tech on the Wednesday show, but I kind of felt like Virginia has looked really good the past 2 weeks. I think Patty C might be onto something. Shador Sanders over 2 passing touchdowns. I kind of love that play, but I hate this news of them basically demoting Sean Lewis and bringing in Pat Shurmur. I still think you're probably okay with Shador over 2 touchdowns, but I don't know, man. I think Deion's fucking up right there, man. I just don't like that. RJ Harvey, yes. Dog. RJ Harvey. Oh, well, you're getting Marvin Harrison Jr. at -192. Take Harrison. Come on. Like Ohio State scores like 50 fucking points every time they play Rutgers. What else do we have out there in the universe? We have Kennesaw State, Sam Houston. So I have an over on Sam Houston that is probably cooked. But if they win today, we got life. I think we got life. Here's the argument here. That would be win 1. Next week is at La Tech. I think La Tech sucks. I think Sam Houston could win that game. After that, they're in Bowling Green, Kentucky against Western Kentucky. They're going to lose that game. But the season ender is home to Middle Tennessee, and there is a chance that Middle Tennessee might pull the plug on Stockstill, interim head coach. There could be 3 wins still for Sam Houston State. They need to win today. However, this line has skyrocketed. I think you take the points in Kennesaw. No, I don't know. Actually, 16.5. Don't go above 17. If it's 16.5, lay it with Houston. Yes. Patty C might be poisoning the well. Folks, look, It's been awesome. I enjoy the chat. It's a fucking blast. I appreciate you deciding to choose time with Dundee on a Saturday morning. I am very, very excited to watch today's games, and I hope you are too. All right. It's my love letter to you. Appreciate you. We'll be back with the reaction show later tonight. Appreciate you checking out the college football experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, and yeah, today's awesome. All right. Until tonight, reaction show, 9:00 Pacific. About I think pretty much 9:00 Pacific. We're gonna go live. Until tonight, this is the college football experience week 10 pregame show. I appreciate each and every one of you. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot.